Keshav Bhajanka is the ED of the company. Good to have you on board. Keshav, morning. It has been a challenging time for these building material companies. Have you felt the pinch of the slowdown? What has been the demand trend?
You see, yes, we did feel the pinch of the slowdown in the first couple of quarters. There was a lack of growth in the biggest segment, plywood, but that was compensated for by strong growth in the remaining segments in laminates, MDF and particle boards. Going forward, we are seeing demand improving. In Q3, demand has been slightly better and we're hoping that this trend continues.
Fair enough. Now, despite the supply headwinds in the MDF industry, the segment for you has done well. So how have you managed to achieve this? And do you think that this kind of growth is likely to sustain?
You see, we were new entrants into MDF. However, today we are regarded as the best quality MDF in the country. So I think through the quality of our materials, we've been able to establish ourselves as the most premium player perhaps in the industry. Alongside that, even though there was a supply glut in the industry, demand has always remained robust. Demand has been growing by 20 to 25%, which is driven by a changeover from the lowest end of plywood, which we were never present in, or any organized player for that matter has never been present in, towards MDF. So the industry as a whole has been growing. MDF has benefited from substitution of plywood by MDF, and we have been able to take away substantial market share from our competition as well.
Keshav, also wanted to understand, about the plywood segment. Growth has remained muted for 3 consecutive quarters. What would you say is weighing down the sentiment? Is it the overall slowdown that the industry per se is in? Or do you think this is just a temporary blip? And can we really expect better margins in the coming quarter?
Like you said, sentiment. I think that is the key word here, because most people, building a house is really a passion project, and most people want to make perhaps the best house that they can for their families. So I think that the sentiment has been a little bit subdued in the past 2 or 3 quarters. Whenever we hear about the economy also, it is normally not that positive. And I think that the decision to make a house, or the decision to do up a house, is being deferred slightly. So that has been affecting the industry. Hopefully that trend is now looking to change.
What we are seeing is a change in your revenue mix as well, Keshav. On a year-on-year basis, if I look at the numbers, the revenue from plywood stands at 54% versus the earlier 57%. Are you looking to change your product mix and concentrate on perhaps other segments?
No, I don't think that would be fair. You see, what has happened is that 2 years ago, practically 2 years ago, 1st of October 2017, we started our MDF business. So prior to that, we never had MDF as a product in the portfolio. So of course, when something goes from 0 to 340, 350 crores in turnover, that is going to change the revenue mix. Alongside that, maybe 3.5 years ago, we didn't have a particle board business as well. Today, that business also annually is going to give us a revenue of 100, 120 crores. So I think the new businesses that have come in have contributed to our top line and our bottom line respectively. But I believe going forward, plywood is going to see a very healthy growth as well. If you look at the figures, even today, we are 1/20th of China's size in terms of the plywood market, even though the population is pretty much similar. So I think that going forward, plywood is going to have a very robust demand. But yes, we are expecting all segments to grow. So I think the revenue mix could look far more similar to today than it would as compared to earlier.
Okay, fair enough. In the midst of this lackluster demand environment, you have a revenue growth guidance of 10% plus for FY20. How do you plan to achieve this double-digit growth, and which are the segments that you think will drive this growth?
You see, like I told you, in the second half of the year, we're definitely looking at perhaps middle to high single-digit growth in the case of plywood. Laminates has continued to show a good growth even for the current year itself. MDF and particle board have been performing very well. So I think all our segments put together, we are fairly confident of double-digit growth for the current financial year. And I think going forward, the target is how to push growth up furthermore.
CapEx plans for the next couple of years, segments that you're planning to focus on?
Well, in the case of MDF, I think within the end of the year, maybe by Q4 of this year, we will be at 100% capacity utilization. So definitely we are looking at expanding our MDF and particle board capacity. I think there is going to be, we are working on a plant in Sitapur in Uttar Pradesh. And I think within the next 2 years, that looks like the most substantial capex investment.
So what's going to be the key growth driver in terms of your segment? If you could just reiterate that.
I think all our segments, like I told you, are going to be growing. Laminates should definitely be in double-digit growth. It should be close to 15% growth. MDF and particle board should maintain the growth that we have seen in the first 2 quarters. And plywood, we are looking at a rebound and a growth of maybe 6-7% plus for H2 of this year.
Thanks much for taking time out and joining in with the outlook on your business.